Good morning, neighbors. I thought this morning we would sing a story. It's called A City on a Hill. Did you hear about the city on a hill? Said the one old man to the other. It once shined bright and it should be shining still. But they all started turning on each other. You see, the poets thought the dancers were shallow, and the soldiers thought the poets were weak, and the elders saw the young ones as foolish, and the rich man never heard the poor man speak. And one by one they ran away with their made-up minds and left it all behind as the light begins to fade on the city on a hill. The city on a hill. Each one thought that they knew better, but they were different by design. Instead of standing strong together, they let their differences divide. And one by one they ran away with their made-up minds to leave it all behind. And the light began to fade in the city on a hill. The city on a hill. And the world is searching still. But it was the rhythm of the dancers that gave the poets life. It was the spirit of the poets that gave the soldiers strength to fight. It was the fire of the young ones. It was the wisdom of the old. It is the story of the poor man that's needing to be told. But it is the rhythm of the dancers that gives the poets life. It is the spirit of the poets that gives the soldiers the strength to fight. It is the fire of the young ones. It is the wisdom of the old. It is the story of the poor man that's needing to be told. But one by one will we run away with our made-up minds and leave it all behind as the light begins to fade in the city on a hill. The city on a hill. And the world is searching still for the city on a hill. You know, now more than ever, the world, maybe not more than ever, but, well, time is coming to a quick and decisive end, that the world really needs the city on a hill. And it's the very thing that Jesus told us. You know, in Matthew chapter 5 on the Sermon on the Mount, after he gives the Beatitudes, he tells us this is what the world needs to see. Those who are poor in spirit, those who are mourn, who are meek, and hunger and thirst for righteousness is what the world really needs. And then he goes straight into Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. And he tells us, this is why you are here. This is why you've been called and chosen to be the salt of the earth. But if you have ceased to do these things, what good are you? You are called to do these things. And that's why this song, The City on the Hill, really speaks to me. Because this is what you're called to do. Your very purpose. It's why he's called you. In verse 14, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand. It gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. So we shine so that people can see our good works, the good things, and those come from God. So it says, when you do these things, when you have the right attitude and the right spirit, and you do the works so that people can see the fruit, they will not glorify you. They will glorify your Father in heaven because they'll see the works in you. Like it says, we sing that children's song, hide it under a bushel, no. But that's what the light is for. You don't light something and then cover it up so you can't see it. It needs to be seen. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. And just like a child, in the dark, they're afraid. But you just put a little night light in their room and it just brings this great comfort to them. And that's really what we may not be much, but that's what we're called to do. One time I was speaking to the Sunday school kids, these little kids, and there's a room that we had that has no windows. So I bought all these little tea lamps, or tea candles. Is that what they're called? Yeah, tea candles. And I took them into this room without any lights and just took my lighter and lit one little candle. And all of a sudden, all these little kids are going, oh, wow. Just because, I could hear in their voice, they're getting a little nervous in there without lights on. So I'd try to do it as fast as I could. But then when I started lighting all their little candles, because I'd handed them all little candles, I hear this little voice go, it's getting lighter. That's really all that we're called. We're called to be a city on a hill. And, if we're all lit, if one, just see one light, it's kind of maybe harder to see. But when the whole city is lit, and remember, it's a city. It's not just one house. It's the city on a hill. All these lights. And I thought I'd read, and because when it says this, Jesus is the light of the world. In John chapter 9, verse 1, now as Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind from birth, complete darkness. He's never seen any type of natural light. And his disciples asked him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. I'm called, Jesus Christ said, I have to do the works. This is why I'm here. And us, who are we to say, I don't have to? It's our works as well. We are supposed to show these works. And this, I think it's a good story, or it's not a story, it's a true story, I guess you could say. He saw a man who was blind from birth. The song, Amazing Grace, I was blind, but now I see. Now I can see. Now I have this light. So that's what we want to be for people. We want to be able to open their blinded eyes so that they may see and glorify God. And that is why it's so important. But as it was saying, we all have gifts. The song was saying we all have different gifts. And it's very easy to cut one another off. But some people are musically inclined. Some people are very intellectual, so they're knowledge inclined. Some people, they love to cook, like Martha. They serve. We're all here to serve as long as we are following and doing what Jesus Christ has told us. And that's really our desire, that people will see the works within us, whether it's the teaching, the singing, the music, you're a musician type, or any kind of, if it's just kindness and being for the sick and elderly, whatever it may be. Let us so shine our light before men so that people can see the good works, but ultimately glorify the Father. So God bless you and have a good day. And remember, you are a part of the city on a hill.